If you don't take action, nothing will change. That's the truth. It doesn't matter how much you think about success, how much you plan, or how much you hope for a better life. If you don't move, if you don't take real steps forward, you'll be stuck in the same place. A lot of people wait for the perfect time to start. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready, or I'll start when things calm down. But the perfect time never comes. Life will always be busy. Challenges will always be there. If you wait, you'll be waiting forever. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait for the right moment. They're the ones who get up and start, even when it's hard, even when they don't feel like it. Taking action isn't about feeling motivated every day. It's about making a decision to move forward no matter what. It's about doing what needs to be done, even on the days when you're tired, even when you don't see immediate results. Because success isn't one big step, it's a series of small steps, repeated day after day. In this video, we're going to talk about why forcing yourself to take action every day is the key to success. Why small, consistent efforts will take you further than waiting for the right time. By the end, you'll understand that your future is built by what you do today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Number one, the hardest part is starting. Once you begin, you gain power. You know, the hardest part of anything in life is just getting started. That moment right before you take action, your mind is flooded with doubts, with hesitations, with excuses. You feel like you need more time, more preparation, more certainty. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, or maybe next week when things feel right. But here's the truth. The perfect time will never come. The people who succeed in life are not the ones waiting for motivation to strike. They're the ones who take action, despite the doubts, despite the fear, despite the discomfort. Because once you begin, you gain power. Think about it. How many times in your life have you delayed something important because it felt overwhelming? Maybe it was a fitness goal, a business idea, a career change, or even just waking up early to be more productive. You kept thinking about it, planning for it, telling yourself you'd start soon. But every day that passed, it felt harder and harder to begin. That's because inaction creates a habit just as much as action does. The longer you wait, the more you train yourself to hesitate, to delay, to stay where you are. But the moment you take action, everything changes. You don't need to see the entire path ahead. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to move. Even the smallest action can break the cycle of hesitation. Because once you start, you create momentum. And once you create momentum, stopping becomes harder than continuing. That's how progress is made. Not in one giant leap, but in the simple decision to start. Look at the most successful people in any field. They weren't born ready. They didn't wake up one day with all the answers. No, they started just like you, uncertain, nervous, even doubting themselves. But they took action anyway. They understood that motion creates motivation, not the other way around. If you wait to feel like it, you'll wait forever. But if you take the first step, no matter how small, your mind starts to shift, your confidence grows, your belief in yourself strengthens. Let's talk about fear. Fear is what keeps most people from starting. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of not being good enough. But here's something you need to understand. Fear doesn't go away on its own. The only way to get rid of fear is to face it head on. The more you avoid action, the stronger your fear becomes. But the more you act despite the fear, the weaker it gets. Every time you push yourself to start, you are training your mind to be stronger than your excuses. And here's something most people don't realize. Your brain is always looking for proof. Proof that you can succeed. Proof that you're capable. But if you never start, you never give yourself that proof. You stay stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. But the moment you take action, even a small one, your brain recognizes it. It says, look, I did it. And that proof builds confidence. That confidence builds momentum. And before you know it, you've gone further than you ever thought possible. Let me ask you this. What's stopping you right now? Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? Is it laziness? Whatever it is, recognize that it's nothing more than an illusion. The hardest part is starting. But once you take that first step, it gets easier. The resistance you feel is temporary, but the regret of not starting lasts forever. You don't want to look back a year from now and realize you're still stuck in the same place. You don't want to waste time waiting for motivation when you could be building discipline instead. The best way to start is to stop overthinking. Stop making it bigger than it is. Just focus on one simple action you can take today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. If you want to get in shape, do one workout today. If you want to start a business, research one step today. If you want to improve your life, make one positive decision today. Action, no matter how small, is always better than inaction. And here's the best part. Once you start, you'll feel a sense of relief. The weight of hesitation disappears. You realize that it was never as difficult as your mind made it seem. You feel a spark, a shift inside you. That's the power of action. That's the power of deciding that you are in control of your life, not your doubts, not your fears, not your excuses. The hardest part is starting, but once you begin, you gain power, power over your mind, power over your circumstances, power over your future. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is that first step. Take it today. Number 2, if you can take one step, you can take another. There's something powerful about movement. The moment you take that first step, no matter how small, you set something in motion that is hard to stop. You might not see the results right away, but something changes the moment you move forward, because if you can take one step, you can take another and another. And before you know it, you're further than you ever thought possible. Most people don't struggle with the middle of the journey. They struggle with the beginning. That first step feels like climbing a mountain. It feels overwhelming, intimidating, even impossible. But the truth is, the first step is always the hardest. Once you take it, once you push through that initial resistance, you realize something. You are capable of more than you thought. The mistake most people make is they look too far ahead. They see the big goal, the big transformation, and they get discouraged before they even begin. They think about how long it will take, how much effort it will require, and they talk themselves out of it. They convince themselves it's too hard, too much, too overwhelming. But here's what they don't realize. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. You just have to take one step. And once you do, something changes inside you. You prove to yourself that you can move forward. You build confidence. Even if just a little, you gain momentum. Even if it's small, and that momentum makes it easier to take another step. Think about a time when you accomplished something in your life, something that seemed impossible at first. Maybe it was getting in shape, learning a new skill, or making a change in your life. In the beginning, it felt difficult, maybe even unbearable, but you pushed through, you took that first step. Then you took another, and before you knew it, you weren't thinking about how hard it was anymore. You were just doing it. That's how progress is made. Not in one giant leap, but in the simple decision to keep going. It's like walking up a staircase. If you stand at the bottom and stare all the way to the top, it feels overwhelming. You think about how many steps you have to take, how long it's going to take, and you feel discouraged. But if you focus on just the next step, suddenly it feels manageable. You take that step, then another, and before you know it, you're halfway there. Then you're at the top, wondering why you ever doubted yourself in the first place. That's how success works. That's how transformation happens. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Because if you can take one step, you can take another. If you can wake up early today, you can wake up early tomorrow. If you can make one small healthy choice today, you can do it again tomorrow. If you can push yourself a little today, you can push yourself a little more tomorrow. And over time, those small steps add up. They compound. They build on each other. And before you know it, you've changed. You've become the person you always wanted to be. Not because of one big action, but because of the small ones you took every single day. This is where most people fail. They don't struggle because they're not capable. They struggle because they never take that first step. Or if they do, they stop too soon. They expect results overnight. They want instant success, instant transformation. And when it doesn't happen fast enough, they give up. They tell themselves it's not working, that they're wasting their time. But what they don't realize is that success is always just a few more steps ahead. There are people right now who are successful, not because they were smarter, not because they had more resources, but because they kept going when everyone else stopped. They took one more step, then another, and now they're living the life they once only dreamed about. And you can do the same. So don't focus on how far you have to go. Focus on today. Focus on this moment. Focus on what you can do right now. Because if you can take one step, you can take another. And if you keep doing that, day after day, nothing will be able to stop you. Number 3, the people who succeed aren't more talented. They just refuse to quit. Success doesn't belong to the smartest person in the room. It doesn't belong to the most talented, the most gifted, or the one who had the perfect start in life. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit, the one who keeps pushing, keeps grinding, keeps moving forward no matter what. That's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. They want to believe that success is about talent, about being naturally gifted, about having something special that others don't. But that's just an excuse. It's a way for people to justify their lack of progress. They tell themselves, well, I wasn't born with that kind of talent, or I just don't have what it takes. But if you look at the people who actually succeed, the ones who make it to the top, you'll see a different story. Look closely at the most successful people in any field, and you'll see that they aren't necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who kept going when everyone else gave up. They failed, they struggled, they made mistakes, but they didn't let those things stop them. They got back up, they kept learning, they kept improving, and over time they became unstoppable. That's what separates the winners from everyone else. Not talent, not luck, just relentless effort. Think about how many people start something with excitement, with big dreams, with high energy. They're fired up, ready to change their lives. But what happens when it gets hard? What happens when they don't see results right away? They stop, they give up, and that's where the real difference is made. The ones who keep going, even when it's hard, even when it's discouraging, even when they don't feel like it, those are the ones who succeed. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they stop trying. They let frustration take over. They let doubt creep in. They let obstacles break them instead of making them stronger. They see failure as a reason to quit instead of a reason to adjust, to learn, to grow. But the ones who make it, they see failure differently. They don't see it as the end. They see it as part of the process. They understand that every mistake, every setback, every rejection is just another step forward.